Time now for our international press reviews. Sophie's here with all the details. Where are you going to start?
Well, it's politics, 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 not quite as usual in Israel. It's the day before the elections, as you were just talking about in the headlines, and it's getting a bit dirty, in fact. The current Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, has, at the 11th hour, given his approval for Tzipi Livni. Now,
is that a good thing?
Well, this is the thing. Livni supporters are not really sure that it is. He's so unpopular in the country at the moment. They actually think he's doing it on purpose. It's a bit of a poison chalice to ruin her chances, because he is, that unpopular. And the two have always been at loggerheads, so it's not really him having a change of heart.
Of course, she's taken over the leadership of the Kadima party, which he used to lead, and of course there's a lot of tension between the two.
Loads of tension between the two. Now, staying in Israel and staying with the Jerusalem Post, an article on how Hamas support has gone down since the Israeli offensive. It's a poll of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and it's saying that actually Mahmoud Abbas and Fatah have benefited from the war in Israel, and Hamas haven't. So quite an interesting story there from the Jerusalem Post.
Okay. Next, on the front of the Figaro, 6 billion euros for French car industry.
That's right. It's a huge sector in France, and Sarkozy has decided to free up 6 billion euros of public money. Did you know, actually, 10% of the active workforce in France are directly or indirectly employed by the automobile industry, which is why it's such a huge issue and therefore taking over most of the pages of the Figaro. Now, actually, what President Sarkozy says has enraged the Czech Republic. He said he's giving this money on the condition that France's automobile industry do not build new factories anywhere outside of France, and he even mentions the Czech Republic or outside, he says. And so the Czech Republic say he's not playing the game, we're supposed to be all for Europe, and we're not supposed to be in competition with each other.
It's an interesting idea, being protectionist and sort of stopping expansion into other EU countries, which is kind of against the whole concept of having an open market, but there you go.
Exactly.
Open when they want it to be, I suppose.
Yes.
Take us to China.
Yes, China. Terrible drought in China. It's been going on for quite some time now. This is just a fascinating story, though. The South China Morning Post, talking about fake rain in China. Now, they've done this before. It's where they shoot pellets of chemicals into the sky to bring about some rain. This is how desperate they are for rain in some of the regions, notably Henan. In the China Daily, we're talking to locals in the Henan region who simply aren't used to having these problems of no rain, and they're actually saying that they're finding these signs that the government have put up everywhere, reminding them that they're not going to have rain for a month, helpful, and that they need to do irrigation to kind of help with their crops. And the Prime Minister, Wen Jiabao, saying that busting the drought is going to help the economy, and that's why he's trying to encourage all the local governments to use their spending power for busting the drought.
Okay, more or less out of time, Sophie, but tell us about this ticking toxic time bomb.
Ticking toxic time bomb.
Which makes us smile, but it's not actually a fun story, is it?
No, it's not a fun story at all. 770 tons of asbestos on board the Clemenceau.
On that boat.
That's right. It's been a political hot potato for a number of years now. It's all about who can dismantle this boat and make it safe. A British company have won the contract. It's a French aircraft carrier. The Friends of Hartlepool aren't happy about it at all. They think it's going to be putting them at risk, despite the fact that the government is saying that they've passed all the safety tests necessary.
Okay, Sophie, we've got to leave it there. We can't do the BAFTA story which you were looking forward to doing, but you should get a BAFTA for Best Supporting Press of You. Fantastic stuff. You're watching Front Thank Out. Stay with us.
Every day, 2 journalists from the international press, 2 experts or 2 observers cross swords on the news of the day. Which side are you on? Face Off, Monday to Friday at 12:15 PM Paris time on France 24.